Hello and welcome to another video. In this video I will answer the question I get a lot. Why am I so happy? How dare I be so happy? Because people who watch my Instagram story, they ask me over and over and over again why I'm so happy, because my Instagram stories and generally I'm always happy and in a good mood and see things positively, and they ask me, are you faking this? Is this real? What is the reason? Don't you have those downsides? So I will answer this in this video, and I have the feeling that it will get deep. So stay with me, and you might wonder, why does this video take so long? Stay with me, because the last half hour or so it's not me talking, but a guy, my, let's call it spiritual guru, who I get a lot of my input from. So if you just want to hear my points, then just watch for the first 10 minutes or however long it will take. I try not to make it too long, so that's why the video takes so long. So if you're here, if you're watching, then congratulations, let's dive into it. Why I'm so happy? Because I follow some really basic rules that basically makes everyone happy if you truly follow them. And that sounds crazy, maybe points I'm saying now, and why, where does he has this concept from? So bear with me, because at the end, the spiritual guru, I got it from him. So if you want proof or anything of that, then wait for the end. I got it from him, and it's all based on my opinion, because we all create our own reality. These laws, which I'm about to tell you, and these make me happy, and that is 100% true in my reality. It might not work for you, because we all create our own reality. What we think will manifest. This is proven by the placebo effect. If you believe in something, if you believe in this sugar pill that makes your headache go away, makes you this and that, and it will manifest because it were your thoughts. Read the book, you're the placebo to understand this concept. So because I really do these laws, which I'm about to tell you, they work for me, and they work for you as well if you really believe in them. But it is what you believe in. They don't work for you if you don't believe in them, because what you believe in manifests. So you create your own reality, and I create my own reality, and I choose to be happy. So let's start with the laws. The first law, and the most important law, is, I said it and I say it again, follow your highest excitement. Follow what excites you, follow your bliss, follow your dreams, follow your highest excitement without insisting of a particular outcome. So what does that mean? In every situation, every single moment, what is the thing that excites you the most right now? Right now, what excites me the most is to share this video with you, because I get the question over and over again, and I want to bring justice to a nice answer to help people. That is my highest excitement right now, so I choose to do that. And if you follow that, so for all the possibilities right now you can do, you can watch this video, you can talk to a friend on the phone, you can go out in the park, you can read a book, you can go take a shower, you can make a nice vegan meal. You have all the possibilities. What of these excite you the most? And if you follow that, that will lead to true happiness, and you will become your true natural self. Oh, this all sounds crazy, but bear with me. Now what I'm about to say, this sounds crazy too. All what I'm saying probably sounds crazy to some of you, but your physical mind basically knows nothing, but your higher mind leads you. Your higher mind is like a mountaintop. You're in a valley and you see almost nothing, but your higher mind is on the top of on a mountaintop and sees everything, sees the valley and everything. And it leads you, the higher mind leads you by your excitement. So follow it blindly, follow what excites you. Don't insist of a particular outcome. So, I'm only happy when, and I'm only doing this, and yeah, I do it, but I'm so disappointed if not. No, just follow your highest excitement. Like making this application video for Logan Paul was my highest excitement, and I'm not disappointed at all that he didn't take me, because I don't insist of a particular outcome, because if I get led by my higher mind, if I just follow my highest excitement, it can get much greater. Because if your physical mind takes over, I insist to do that and that, you might reach that. But your higher mind, you can reach much more if you follow it, but you don't know how to get there. So you get led by your highest excitement. Follow your highest excitement, and you get everything what you possibly can or cannot imagine. That is how powerful that is. And I experienced it over and over and over again. It took me a lot of time. At the beginning also, oh, I insist of an outcome and no, this doesn't feel right, but I do it because I want to get there. And I was just, fuck it, I follow my highest excitement. And it led to my dream reality, and it becomes better and better and better because I follow my highest excitement without insisting of a particular outcome. That is the base. Next, what you put out is what you get back. Simple law. What you put out is what you get back. Take this analogy. You look in a mirror and you see your reflection, and you cannot force your reflection to smile because you have to smile first. If you smile, what you put out is what you get back. The mirror smiles back. It is forced to. It has no other choice, and that is with everything. What you put out is what you get back. If you're kind to people, if you're loving, you get that back. If you're angry and if you're sad, then you get that back. And everything you put out is what you get back. And I want to get back nice things. I want to be happy. I want to be loved. I want positivity. I want my dream reality. I want that the world is turning vegan, and that is what I'm putting out, and that is what I'm getting back. So be really careful what you put out. Always think about this analogy with the mirror. You cannot force the mirror to smile. If you frown, the mirror always frowns back. You have to smile first, and it all will come back to you as you put it out. What you put out is what you get back. It's a universal law. Bear with me until the end to find out from where I learned this from. Number 3. Everything is in the here and now. And that is why I'm so happy, because if you look at your watch, it's never in the future and it's never in the past. It's always now. Your watch should say now, 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 because that's all that exists. It's all in the now. So there is no point in, yeah, I do a job now I don't like, but in the future, and yeah, I don't like this, but I work to it, and then I'm happy, and then I will be happy. I do this now and then, no. There's only the now, and you should be happy in the now and create an environment that allows you to be happy 24/7. And it is possible. You just need that belief system. And that is why I always choose to be happy. And it's all what I'm telling you. It took me a while because I was like, oh, I get frustrated from this, and oh no, fuck. And then negativity came back for me, and I was like, this day yesterday it didn't feel good because I chose to. It's literally in your hands. If you want to be happy, don't let circumstances, and this is now the next rule, circumstances don't matter. Only your state of being matters. So don't let, oh, circumstances, I'm born in a poor environment and my family has no money and da 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 da. Don't let that be responsible for your state of being. If you let your environment, and that is why most people suffer and are not happy, because they let the environment determine their state of being. But if circumstances don't matter, only state of being matters. If you want to be happy, if you want to have a nice life, if you follow your highest excitement and stay in that state of being. You know, my state of being is, I'm happy, I'm ultimately supported by the universe, and I live in ultimate abundance. I never run out of fruits, I never run out of ripe bananas for an ice cream. I have everything in abundance, and that is my mindset. And that is my state of being I stay in, and thus your environment will reflect over time. Circumstances, all the circumstances you be in, they don't matter at all. It doesn't matter in which situation you put me right now. Only my state of being matters. So decide what state of being serves you. Follow your highest excitement, become your true natural self. And if you stay in that state of being, your environment has no choice but to manifest. So often why people fail with this is because they think immediately the environment will change. But no, it takes a while. You have to stay in that state of being, and over time your environment will change. Because if friends come and you're like, no, because you changed. No, I don't want to go out and drink alcohol. I don't want to drink so much. I want to do sports in the morning. They're like, come on, let's smoke a cigarette. And I don't want to smoke anymore. Don't think immediately that the friends will go away and other friends will come. It takes a while. They make fun for you, but you have to stay in that state of being. Then they accept you like this and may change as well, or may go away and other friends will come, but it takes a while. It took a while until I found my dream girlfriend, my best friends. They're like-minded people. It took a while, but I stayed in that state of being. I stayed true to myself. I followed my highest excitement. Then your environment, it has no chance but to manifest. Trust me. But most people, they don't stay in that state of being. They're like changing all the time. And oh, why this happened? Poor little me. Why this happened to me? And then manifested by the environment. But that's the wrong way. You are responsible for your environment. You're responsible for your everything. You create everything. It's all manifesting through your thoughts. So stay in the state of being that serves you, that you prefer. Next law, last law. Everything is fundamentally neutral. Nothing has built-in meaning. Everything is fundamentally neutral. It doesn't matter what circumstances would come, how bad it might look, but it all is neutral and depends what you make out of it. Great things can happen to you, but you're like, oh no, or really bad things can happen to you, but they're judged by you. They're judged by what you make out of it. If something comes to me, then everything is neutral, and it is what I make out of it. Things I don't like, I recognize them, but I don't get frustrated about them. I just recognize them. Like, for example, at the last vegan cooking night, I smashed a blade, a really nice blade, with the softbox. It crashed on it. And it is a circumstance, and it is neutral. It is not good or bad. And I wasn't frustrated or angry at 1 second. I recognized it immediately, and okay, it's a blade for €5 or so. It doesn't matter. That doesn't make me be angry, be frustrated. No, I don't allow it. I'm in charge of that. So I immediately focus on making the picture nice and everything, because I don't put attention to it, because it's all fundamentally neutral and what you make out of it. And I don't allow things to make me upset, to make me sad. And I'm saying that like I'm so perfect, but no, this is hard. I still sometimes struggle with this a bit, but over 90% I manage that. At the end of the day, I laugh at myself, because I know it's fundamentally neutral in what I make out of it. And sometimes I make it a big deal, but then I laugh at myself. So I always come down to this base, to these laws I tell you, and that is why I'm so happy. That is why I live in my dream reality. These are the laws, and I hope they make sense to you, and I hope you think about them really hard and try. Not only try, because if you say you try, then you always have a big door of failing, that you make them happen, that you really do them, follow your highest excitement. Circumstances don't matter, only your state of being matter. Everything is fundamentally neutral, what you make out of it. Everything is in the now, so choose your state of being, what serves you. If you are not happy, then something doesn't serve you. Find out what it is and change that state of being, and then your environment will come the same, but you react different. That is what counts. So, now where did I get all this information from? Do you really think that we on Earth is a spaceship, we're floating through the universe? It's crazy when you think about it, but do you really think that we humans and other animals on this planet called Earth are the only beings in the entire universe? This would be really narrow-minded to think like this, because it's proven just that the language of the universe is math. And like when you go to Germany, you speak German. When you go to France, you speak French. When you want to understand the universe, you have to look at the math, because it all makes sense. Just the sheer numbers. The nearest universe is the Andromeda universe, and it is 2.2 million light years away. That is the nearest universe. Think about it, 2.2 million light years. Light speed, you have to travel with 300 kilometers per second. That means in 1 second, you go around the globe, the Earth, 7.5 times. Think about it, one, and you're 7.5 times around the universe. That is how fast light speed is. And if we would be able to travel in the speed of light, then it would still take us 2.2 million years to reach the next galaxy, to the Andromeda galaxy. And that is the closest one. So the universe is basically endless. It's huge. And to think that, yeah, we're the chosen one, we're the only beings in the whole universe, it's so stupid to think like this. There must be other beings. Like the number, a Googleplex, it's 10 by 10 by 100. It's a huge number. And to see copies of you, I'll link your video down below that explains that. To see copies of you, you only need, I think it was 10 by 10 by 72 or so. That number, that particles that make up your square, to arrange that in every possible way, in every way that could be imagined, to get exact the same one like you, it's smaller than a Googleplex. So, speaking math, there must be a copy of you in the universe, and so there must be other beings out there, and I'm so convinced there are. So, there is no right or wrong here. It's all based, this is all my opinion, and I thought about this. Wow, there must be other beings, and why haven't no one contacted us? Because a lot of them must be much more developed than we are. And there are, and they're contacted people, and it's through channeling. There are channels out there, those extraterrestrial beings, they're on the same frequencies like humans, and some humans they channel, so they're like in a driver's seat. So they go like this, and the channel speaks through them, because the human is, this particular human is capable of the English language, and the channel just channels through him, and because he has the ability to speak English, he can uses the language and makes his point. So there is a particular channel, because of course there are a lot of frauds out there. They're just making money with that, and oh yeah, I'm channeling right now and believe that and this, and I sell 100 DVDs because people are dumb to believe that. Not dumb, no one is dumb, but they are like trusting. So I just looked at a bunch, and there's one particular one, his name is Pasha, and at the first years I thought, okay, he's a maniac, this doesn't exist, but I listened so much to it. You can't imagine how much I listened to what he said, and I'm just at a point, I'm so convinced that this cannot be human. You cannot talk to all kinds of guys, to really mathematics people and really complex stuff, and immediately have an answer that is just so perfect and makes so much sense, and all the time, and you cannot, humans cannot speak like that. If you listen, because in a TV show, or if something is short, you can fake everything, but if you're listening hours upon hours talks, they go 4 hours and he speaks, it's super hard to fake that. So I listen to him a lot, and the most important thing, so you probably think right now, okay, this is crazy, I don't believe in extraterrestrial. Fine, believe what you want, but he is not, oh, I insist that I'm extraterrestrial, I come from this planet. No, he's like, yeah, this is the background, but what is most important, he helps people. He's like, follow your highest excitement. He's like improving people. That is the most part he talks about. He's helping people. So these laws, you don't have to believe in him or whatever, but believe in the fundamental principle, and that it can help you, how it helped me. So you don't have to believe that whole story. I didn't at the beginning, but after a while I was just convinced and more convinced, and now I believe it 100%. But believe what you want, but just use the law. So at the end now, what is soon about to happen, I will give you one lecture, 30 minutes or so of him talking, just one of 1,000. So listen to him, be open-minded, and just, if you want to believe that he's extraterrestrial, you can watch some YouTube interviews if you're interested in that whole story. Just Daryl Anker, Pasha interview, type it, I linked them down below. Listen to him, what he has to say, and if that makes sense. Because I'm at a point, when it comes to self-improvement, I don't listen to humans so much anymore. I listen for that to extraterrestrials, because they got it. They really know the basic principles that makes us happy, and I follow them. And when it comes to nutrition and stuff and science, I listen to what humans of course have to say, because there I can learn a lot. But for self-improvement and stuff, I mostly listen for that to extraterrestrial stuff, like Pasha, mostly to him. I can make a video about a few others. But yeah, listen now to that and make up your own mind, and think I'm crazy or think what you want, but just be open-minded, and yeah, without further ado, listen to Pasha, listen what he has to say, and please implement those rules if they serve you, but find out what serves you, because everything works. You, as I said, the placebo, it's mind over matter. It's literally that your thoughts materialize. What you think materialize. So be cautious what you think. Don't allow so much negativity, and I just choose happiness and live a fulfilled life and become my true natural self by following my highest excitement. So enjoy this footage.
How many people are not familiar with Bashar? Okay, quite a few. All right. Very, very briefly, just to bring everyone up to speed, this channeling began actually about 28 years ago. But 10 years before that, in the early 70s, I had 2 very close broad daylight UFO sightings here over LA. First time about 150 feet away, second time only 70 feet away, of a black equilateral triangular ship about 20 feet on a side. After having seen something like that, I was inspired to start reading a lot of books to find out what was going on, what the reality behind UFOs was. and ran into many other metaphysical subjects, of course. And 10 years after the UFO sightings, I was introduced to a channel, and the entity coming through that channel actually offered to teach a channeling class. And I went into the class not because I thought I wanted to be a channel, it was just to further my research, and I wanted to understand how something like that could be taught. During the class, while I was in a receptive meditative state, I received what I perceived to be a message from Bashar and his people. And in that one instant, I actually remembered having made an agreement before this life to do this with him. I understood the UFO had been shown to me on purpose to get me to move in the direction I needed to move. And the question that was there was, now that you remember you made this agreement, and now that you know it's time to begin, is this something you still want to do? And I thought about it for a while to make sure I wasn't going crazy, mostly. But eventually I understood that the most important thing is that channeling is actually a natural altered state that we all have the ability to do, and probably all do from time to time in our lives. Anytime you're doing something that you love to do and you're in that flow where you don't notice the passage of time or what's going on around you, anytime an actor becomes the character, anytime a singer is lost in the song, any kind of creative endeavor that you become fully focused in is a channeling state. You can do a number of things with it. What obviously I've chosen to do is alter my brainwave state in such a way that I become a receptor for Bashar and his thoughts. Somewhere in the middle, our brainwave frequencies lock, and what you get is a translation of his thoughts into the language I was raised to understand, which is English. He's not speaking, he's just sending thoughts. So this is, as I understand it, as he's explained it, a telepathic connection. Now, he does present himself as a real autonomous extraterrestrial being. That was his ship, supposedly, that I saw. I have no proof of any of that, can't prove any of it to you. This could be another part of my own consciousness, but that's really the bottom line, is we all have the ability to tap into source. We all have the ability to get the information we need, and it's really the information that's more important, and that's why they're staying in the background, because they want us to understand that it's not the messenger, it's the message. And if the information is something you can apply in your lives and make your lives better, then that's the whole point, and that's the reason why I continue to do it. Today, I'm not sure what Bashar might talk about at the beginning, but he will probably open most of this session up to questions and answers. So if you do have questions for Bashar when he opens it up, please raise your hand. Erica over here, my lovely wife, will call on you. And if you are going to ask Bashar a question, when she calls on you, please come up. She'll call like about 3 people at a time. We have 3 chairs over here for questioners so that we have 1 person up to this mic over here so we can all hear you very clearly, and 2 people on deck. And then we'll call some more and keep going that way until we have no more time. So once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I really appreciate it. Those that are not familiar with Bashar will recognize very quickly that he's very direct and very blunt. But he also has a lot of fun. So the more fun you have with him, the more fun he'll have with you. And if you have something that is really important for you to ask about, don't be shy about asking it. If you're comfortable asking it in front of the group, it doesn't matter what it is as long as it's important on any subject, whatever you want. Bashar will find some way to make it applicable to the rest of you as well. All right, it'll take me just a minute to go into the altered state, let Bashar come through, and I'm going to take a nap and see you later. This is the only time when sleeping on the job is okay. And cell phones off. All right, I'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. Allow us to begin in the following way by first and foremost thanking each and every one of you individually and all of you together collectively for the co-creation of this interaction and allowing this transmission in this way to occur. Each and every time you allow such a transmission to occur between our respective societies, you help us create a link and a bridge and a third reality between our two in which we can interact and perhaps one day interact more concretely, more physically. But for now, we share ideas and perspectives with each and every one of you, ideas and perspectives that work in our civilization and can work in yours if you are of a mind to apply them in that way. Not that you have to. Your reality is your reality, your choices are your choices, your beliefs are your beliefs. We would never in any way, shape, or form, force you to change anything you do not wish to change. But there are many things we have applied in our civilization that work for us in allowing us to have the kinds of manifestations we prefer. And in listening to many of you desire the same kinds of loving, creative, peaceful manifestations on your planet, then we are more than willing to simply share the ideas of the tools and techniques that work for us, knowing that if you are willing to apply them in your lives, they can work for you as well, but that is really up to you. Do you follow? All right. Let us talk about the idea of tools. Every single one of you talks about the idea of applying some sort of tool or technique to make changes in your lives in a positive and constructive way. And we have had many discussions with many of you about the idea of exactly what sort of tools to apply and how to apply them and how to get a result and how to get a manifestation. Now, of course, first and foremost, you are always manifesting something. If you were not, you wouldn't have an experiential physical reality, correct? Correct. So the idea is, you do not have to learn how to manifest. This is automatic. It is built into you as a creator, as an aspect of creation. You do not have to learn how to manifest. What you are simply learning is how to manifest more consciously, to be more aware of how you manifest so that you can manifest what you prefer, instead of manifesting your unconscious beliefs. The idea is to always, first and foremost, recognize that any manifestation that you create, any physical experience you create, is the result of the strongest definitions and beliefs that you hold within your conscious or unconscious mind to be true. Because that is how physical reality experience is created. Physical reality is really nothing but a mirror, a reflection of what you believe most strongly is possible, is probable, is true for you. This exists on both a collective level and on an individual level. In other words, you have a collective agreement about what is highly probable or not in physical reality, and you will abide by that collective agreement to a great degree. For example, most of you, not all of you necessarily, but most of you will agree for the duration of your physical lives that gravity will work. It is as simple as that. You have agreed to that particular physical parameter of experience, and unless you have a specific reason for canceling the idea of gravity and levitating or floating, which many of you might, then you will generally go about your day-to-day activities with your feet firmly on the ground, and that is all you need to understand about that part of the collective agreement. Many of these things are done on a level where you don't have to think about them so that you can get on with your lives and not have to pay attention every single second to every single thought and every single belief and every single definition that is harbored within your unconscious mind. And that is as it needs to be. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to simply live your lives. You would always be thinking, do I need to take this step? Do I need to take this step? Am I going to stay on the earth? I don't know. I might go floating away. I have to think about this. Obviously, that would take up a lot of your time, and that is something that will not allow you to just experience life in a natural way. You also have an individual component to this agreement, and that means that each and every one of you have a singular theme that you have chosen to explore in this life, and that there may be many variations of the collective agreement that are germane to you, many adaptations that are specific to you and your specific personal theme of exploration that another individual may not necessarily be able to manifest, but you can. There is leeway, in other words, for the individual within the collective bubble agreement. You will stay generally within the collective bubble, but you can vary the idea of what's probable for you as being very different as to what might be probable for someone else to manifest. And this simply has to do with the themes that you chose to explore when you decided to have this life. And yes, you all chose to have a life. This is an issue of choice. It is not something that happens without you choosing it from the spirit level. That doesn't mean you always choose every single detail, but the idea is that you know that physical reality has a capability of providing certain kinds of random events, and that you know that in exploring the theme of your desire, you will allow yourself to gravitate and be attracted to certain kinds, certain themes, certain windows and opportunities of random events that will best serve your ability to explore that theme. How you go about it is really up to you. The idea, thus, then, it is a kind of a combination, as you say in your language, between what you typically call destiny part, is the idea of the general theme you chose to explore in this life. That's like a hallway, and you will walk down that hallway. That is a given. That's your destiny. But how you do it, how you walk down that hallway, fast, slow, against the wall, on the floor, crawling, running, upside down, it is up to your free will to decide what works best for you. How it is that it best fits the theme that you chose to explore, how it is that it best fits the persona that you have created yourself to be. Personality being a construction, like a three-sided prism, of three components. Your beliefs and definitions, your emotions, thought patterns, and your physical behaviors. These three things go hand in hand to creating the artificial projection or construct you call your individual personality for this particular life. The idea, thus, is that it all takes its cue, the behaviors and the emotions and thoughts all take their cue from definitions and beliefs first. That is the first and foremost tool that you need in your kit, is to understand consciously how to recognize what your definitions and belief of life is all about and what your relationship to life and yourself is all about. And once you begin to have a handle on those definitions and those beliefs, then the idea of manifesting what you prefer becomes more conscious. You become more aware of your capability of making choices, and thus you are free consciously to choose what it is you prefer to manifest. But as we said, physical reality is a mirror. Very much like the idea of a glass mirror on your planet, when you look in the mirror and you see a reflection, if the reflection's face is frowning, you know. You don't go over to the mirror and attempt to make the reflection smile. It will never work. The only way the reflection can smile is if you smile first. But the idea is that many of you have been taught to think of physical reality as something to manipulate, which it's not from the outside. The idea is that as you change, physical reality on the outside has no choice, like the reflection in the mirror, but to change. However, here's where many of you get a little bit stuck. We recognize that what you have created as a physical reality, space-time experience, has a little bit of a time lag, has a little bit of an idea of volumetric space and time. Things take time. So, when you do create a change within your belief system within, the idea is that you will see a reflection from the outside world, but you may not see it right away. The idea is that what you may see first is what we call an echo of what you have already created. The idea being that the same situation may crop up as cropped up before. Now, we know that many of you, when you see the same situation crop up, when you see it appear before you, may sometimes, because of how you're taught to think of yourselves, go into self-recrimination and self-doubt and self-devaluation and say, I must be doing something wrong. Something is wrong with me. Why isn't the outside reality changing to reflect what I know has changed within me? But the idea is there's that echo. And sometimes physical reality will simply give you the same situation, the same set of circumstances that was there before, to give you an opportunity to see if you actually really have changed. Because change, and here's one of the primary tools in the kit, is this knowledge. Change is not about what happens on the outside. It's about how you respond to what happens. It's state of being, not circumstance. So the idea is that if you say you have changed, and a similar situation crops up that cropped up before when you were in a negative state, and you react in the same negative way to that circumstance, you haven't changed. Therefore, there is no reason for the outside reality to change because you've just proven with the same old reaction that you haven't changed. If, however, the same situation crops up, the same set of props appears before you, and you respond in a different way, in a way that is reflective of the fact that you really believe you're a different person, then you are proving to physical reality you really have changed. And when you make that proof available to reality, then creation and the mirror can change to reflect a true change within you. So remember, it's not about the idea of what changes on the outside that proves you have changed. It's how you respond to what's going on the outside, even if it's still the same, that proves you have changed. Does that make sense? Yes. Because there is no outside. Physical reality is just a reflection. It's just an illusion. It is just another version of you in whatever state you are in. And if you constantly need to remind yourself what state you are in, that's what the reflection is for, so that you can look in the mirror. And if you see the frown, you can say, oh, that's not what I prefer. I prefer to smile. And thus then, when you keep smiling because that's what you prefer, the mirror will have no choice. But if you make it conditional, well, I'll smile when the mirror smiles first. I'll change. I'll be happy. I'll be happy when my physical reality changes first. Then I'll be happy as a reaction. It doesn't work that way because physical reality is nothing but a reflection of the state of being you believe is most true for you. So if you choose to be happy because you don't need a reason other than that's what you prefer, then physical reality as a mirror has no choice but to reflect the happiness you have decided is the state of being you prefer without gauging it based on what's going on in physical reality. Because physical reality is just a neutral set of props. Circumstances do not have built-in meaning at all. The greatest gift you have been given by creation is that life, I know this will sound funny, life is meaningless. The point being that you were created to give life meaning, and the meaning you give it determines the effect you get out of it. It is totally neutral unto itself, just a set of neutral props that have no built-in meaning. But it is simple physics. What you put out is what you get back, what you typically call karma in some of your religious connotations. The idea simply is that whatever frequency you give off is the reflection that gets back to you. So the idea simply is that if you understand everything is neutral and doesn't have built-in meaning, then you don't have to react any particular way to anything that happens. Every circumstance and every situation, if you see it as fundamentally neutral, you can then decide, you can make a conscious choice that it must serve you in a positive way. You may not intellectually understand how it will do so, and you don't need to. That's the point. The point is you simply have to trust and have faith that it will, because you know there's no other choice. You know that everything happens in your life for a reason, therefore it must serve you in a positive way, even if you don't intellectually understand how that can be so. And when you maintain that state of being, you will then see in some way, shape, or form how the very same circumstance that seemed so negative before can actually serve you in a positive way, because everything can do double duty, because everything is fundamentally neutral. And when you put the meaning in, the positive meaning in, you can only get a positive effect out, even if someone else's intention toward you is negative. The idea, again, being that every single one of you have your own reality. Yes, it seems that you're sharing a reality, but you're actually not sharing the same reality. The only way that you perceive you have other people in your reality by agreement is that you agree to create out of your own energy, out of your own consciousness, your version of them in your reality to interact with. You are actually just your own reality. And even though it seems to be populated with billions of people, that is simply the versions of them you have created in your reality to interact with. So it really doesn't matter what anyone else's intention toward you is. You can decide whether their intention and their vibration and their state of being is appropriate for you, is preferable to you. And when you decide what is preferable, then regardless of anyone else's intention, the energy, being the energy of your own reality, will serve you in the way and in the manner you have deemed it shall serve you because of the decisions you have made. And another person's reality will be experienced by them in the way they have put energy into that reality and meaning into that reality. It's as simple as that. This is simply physics. There is really nothing more to it than that. Let's talk a little bit more about the idea of tools briefly. Again, very important to understand. Tools, the tools, just in the same way that you don't have to learn to manifest, it's just about learning what it is you prefer to manifest consciously. Tools, any tool you use to create your life, always works. The tools always work. There is no such thing as a tool of creation that doesn't work. It's about how you're using the tool. That's what makes the difference. So, for example, we know on your planet you have a tool called a hammer. And you know that sometimes you wish to drive a nail into a piece of wood with that hammer. Well, the hammer has two ends. It has the head of the hammer, it has the claw on the back. If you use the claw to drive the nail, you run the risk of bending the nail. That's not the end of the hammer that was designed to drive the nail. It's not that the hammer isn't working, it's that you have it backwards and upside down. The idea, therefore, is if you understand the tool and you use it right side up, face front, you can drive the nail in the way that you need to and recognize that the claw is for the purpose of pulling it out, and when you need to pull it out, you can use the other side of the hammer. So it's all about discernment and learning to use the tools in the appropriate way that they were designed to be used to allow you to manifest consciously and get the result that you prefer. Here is another caveat, however, and I know that this seems strange to many of you in the idea of manifestation. Here is the key, though, a very important key. It will be the last thing we will talk about in this monologue before we open up to the idea of questions and answers. And it is this. The idea is that getting in touch with your definitions and getting in touch with your beliefs to determine what it is that you prefer to manifest must be manifested for its own sake, in the sense of doing the act for its own sake, because that's the state of being, that's the state you prefer for its own sake, with absolutely, here it comes, no expectation whatsoever that what you prefer must manifest. Yes, I know, it seems paradoxical, and it is, but that's the point. The point is you need to use the power of paradox. You need to stay in the balance point. When you attempt to manifest a specific thing with a particular intention, with a particular expectation that it must manifest, very often, many of you are putting conditions on it that if it doesn't manifest, as we said, something's wrong. But if you simply allow yourself to be the state you wish to be for its own sake, simply because that's what you prefer to be, then the things that are germane to that state have no choice but to manifest, whatever they are. But if you insist that they must manifest in a certain way, you're actually selling yourself short, because you don't necessarily have the foresight to know the best way that that thing could manifest. And when you insist that it must manifest in a certain way, along a certain path, you're actually closing doorways through which the manifestation could actually happen in a way that is even greater than you imagined it. So don't insist that the fruition must happen in the way that you have imagined it. Just know that it will happen in the way that serves you best, and simply stay in the state that you need to stay that is representative of that manifestation, so that the manifestation can find you. Because you cannot perceive what you are not the vibration of. This again is simple physics. If you don't stay in the appropriate state that represents the manifestation will remain invisible to you. Because remember, when we talk about manifesting, you're not actually talking about bringing something to you that isn't already here. Things already exist here and now. You don't have to actually reach out to some endless dimension and endless netherworld to attract something to you and somehow bring it into manifestation in physical reality. It's already in existence. It's already here, because there is only here. There is only now. Look at your watches. Anytime you decide what time it is always now, isn't it? Yes, that's the only time it is. All your watches should simply say now, 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 now. That's the only time it really is, ever. You never say, oh, I think it's then. No, it's now. What time is it? It's now. So there is only now, and things can manifest only in the now. What you call, from your linear space-time illusionary perspective, what you call different moments are actually the same moment from a different point of view. It's the same moment. So everything is here, everything is now, and manifestation is just about allowing you to be the vibration, the proper frequency that will allow you to see that part of the now that was heretofore invisible to you. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as an analogy of changing the channels on your television set. You know that when you want to watch a particular program on one channel, all the other programs available to you at the same time still exist. All you have to do is change your channel to see them. That doesn't mean that the program you were just watching has gone into non-existence. It still exists, but you don't see it anymore because you're no longer on that frequency. Physical reality is structured the same way within your consciousness. Whatever you really wish to perceive, you just have to change your frequency, and you'll be able to see that it's always been right here, right now, forever and ever. It's just a matter of tuning your frequency to the appropriate vibration. And the way you do that most strongly, how? Many of you know. Act on your highest joy. Follow your highest excitement. Follow your bliss. Why do you think this is such a popular phrase in your understanding now on your planet? It's because what you call excitement, what you call joy, what you call love, what you call that particular frequency is your body's physical translation of the frequency that represents your true natural core self. That vibration and anything that contains that vibration is who you really are. So act on it. Move toward it. Go for it, as you say, because that's your true compass needle pointing to your true magnetic north. That's why it's so important to act to the best of your ability on your highest excitement. That vibrational frequency is who you were truly created to be. That's all there is to it. It's as simple as that, unless, of course, you would prefer that it's more complicated and difficult. But that's your choice. We will not take that away from you if that's what you prefer. But we have heard many of you talk, and it seems likely that the majority of you would prefer things to be a little simpler. Creation is, yes, richly complex, but at its fundamental heart, it is not complicated. It is exceedingly, exceedingly simple. Once again, we thank you for allowing us to share this perspective with all of you. And we now ask, in what way, through dialogue, may we be of service to you?